You're tuned into Human by AI with Ashish Garg. Real, unscripted conversations about how humans and AI are shaping the future of community finance. Grab your favorite drink and let's dive in.
Welcome everybody back to the next edition of my podcast, Human by AI. I have with me a very special guest. His name is Brad Bergmooser.
Perfect.
Did I say that right, Brad?
Perfect the first time.
Okay. Yeah. Brad Bergmooser is here. I'll let him tell you a little bit more about himself, and that's when we'll get into Human by AI. Brad, please.
All right, Ashish, thanks. I love the title of the podcast. Really, really neat. So yeah, Brad Bergmooser, President CEO of Financial Plus Credit Union, headquartered in Flint, Michigan. Been there about 6 years, but really, really fortunate that my whole career has been in the credit union industry. So real excited to be here and talk about Human by AI.
Yes, Brad. So let's begin. I think the first thing I want to explore is, are you an AI skeptic or an AI believer?
Do we have a choice? It's here. So no, I'm a believer. It is a revolutionary tool. It's a tool, but it's a revolutionary tool that skeptic or believer, it's not going anywhere. And, it's our job and role on how to best use it.
And talking about using AI, do you use AI in your personal life?
I have been. So I am a lawyer by education. So I take great pride in my ability to write. I've invested a lot of money in my education in being able to write. So it was hard for me to get over that hurdle to, put prompts into a large language model and then get back something way better than I could produce. I was a little reluctant because it kind of felt like it was taking away something I spent a lot of time and money on. But now that I do utilize it regularly, I really like it. And I think we as credit unions need to embrace that. We shouldn't be penalizing our employees for utilizing a large language model. We need to train them because really the output that gives is based on how good you are at prompting it on the front end. So if we switch it up and really teach our employees to embrace it, like I've had to do, I think we're all the better for it because they get better at prompting, which is what that's the human by the AI, that creates a better output when you utilize one of those tools.
So what is the last interesting thing you used AI to write for you?
I played around with one of those where you upload a photo and then you record a text. So I'm actually I hope if this goes out before our next board meeting, I'm actually going to use that. A lot of our 2026 strategic planning with our board is going to involve how we're incorporating an AI strategy into what we believe is already a pretty good working overall strategy for the credit union. But I wanted to start with kind of the shock and awe. So I recorded a 30-second clip, just, hey, I'm Brad, so proud to be part of Financial Plus. And the teeth don't really look like mine, but other than that, it is pretty scary. So that was really cool. I have that locked and loaded for our next board meeting.
That's awesome. I'll just give my example. I love writing. My wife is an artist. She hates to write. So these days, any email comes from my son's school, my wife will go to ChatGPT, craft a response to that email, copy, paste it, and send it off. So she loves using that for writing.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome. So let's switch gears and talk a little bit about your credit union. How about the employees? Are the employees beginning to use AI? Are they confused? Are they excited? Are they scared? Like, have you seen anything happening already, like on the ground?
All of the above. So, I think our marketing team was probably the first to use it before we even had a policy or a procedure or remotely a strategy behind it. We saw it a lot last year when we started looking through performance reviews. There was a whole lot where we noticed, that doesn't really sound like you. But then I go back to this year, I think we're going to really push people, not shy away from it, but okay, if you're going to use it in part of the performance review process, that's good because it could provide a clear, more succinct feedback for the employee. But again, we got to train on the front end for the prompting.
Yeah.
So there was uses, and I don't think we're any different than any other financial institution or any other company, where I bet there was employees using it all over the place because we as people were dabbling in it because it was a novelty and something really cool. Scared? Yeah, absolutely. You immediately go to it's going to take my job. And we are one of, there's not too many left. Our frontline staff is represented. They're unionized. So that's something that's really, really a delicate topic for us. And that's not it at all. You've just heard a pitch about a service provider that discusses the human in the loop.
Yeah.
It's not intended to reduce headcount, especially us. We pride ourselves as to be a growing organization, but in order to grow and scale appropriately, you have to be efficient. So it's an efficiency tool. So for us, it's not a reduction in force mechanism. It's a tool that, as good employers, it's our job to upskill our workforce to be able to utilize that tool. But there's that inherent fear, and I get it. Like I said, lawyer by education, and I'd be a little nervous to be coming out of law school right now with these types of tools. Are they really going to reduce or marginalize kind of that entry level position?
Yeah, and let's explore one thing you talked about, sort of the human side of things. So you've been in the industry for a while. You're at the front lines of servicing the underserved in your market. Where do you think in the era of AI, these tools get better and better? Where do you think there's a value for human touch? Like, where does that come into play?
So when you use AI, you immediately think of, how can we, if 75% of the calls coming into our call center are balance inquiries or things like that, how do you offload those so that the humans that are involved, our contact center agents who are the experts, they can really focus on the 30% of calls where those members, it's a more complicated issue, those members need their help. So there's the idea where you could use AI to funnel out and actually refocus where you do need the human interaction. Similar with what we do on loan decisioning. Given the just mountains and mountains of data that we have on, say, auto lending, right? So you look at the two ends of the spectrum, your Premier and A+, and then you're more credit challenged. That doesn't require a whole lot of really thinking through and trying to make it work for the member, right? So if we have our loan officers not having to utilize the time and resources when those decisions are from a data standpoint relatively easy, and you allow them to focus on that B and C paper, so how we can get that loan to them, how we can get them in the car. So it's, again, utilizing the tool to really emphasize where, our belief is we will always need the human touch.
I see. So what I'm hearing is sort of AI helps you automate the mundane and the repetitive stuff, and then you really apply your humans really to the more complex stuff.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Now, let's paint a scenario 5 years from now that AI continues to get better and better and better and better and better and can do more and more and more complex tasks. What then? Where does really the human touch come in?
Yeah, the scary part is, so right now we're in we've been using AI, it's fitting that we're at a fintech conference right now, because the term AI is becoming so overused and generalized. It's like saying fintech. Like, what, are you still a fintech? I mean, you hear, our big core providers saying they're a fintech.
Yes.
So what isn't AI? You really got to look at definition. I mean, I joke. I was still in elementary school when Microsoft Word came out with that little paperclip asking.
I remember.
Looks like you're writing a letter.
Remember. Yeah.
Is that have I been using AI since the 90s? Maybe. But credit unions and financial institutions have been using machine learning for a long time. And that's done a lot to create efficiencies, reduce kind of human errors. So we've been using machine learning for a long time. If we're talking about kind of the stage of the new stuff we're in right now, it is the more exciting generative items.
Yeah.
What I don't want to say scares me, but what that next horizon where you talk about the agentic AI, that's where credit unions are really, really going to have to get good at it, because I liken it to, I'm a member of a couple credit unions. What if by the time this interview is over, an agentic AI feature will have moved a money market because the competitor credit union, or even worse, the competitor bank or the competitor neobank is offering a higher rate. So I'll walk out and just get a text message saying the money's already been moved. How does a credit union, there goes advertising, that is a giant cultural shift, not with how we use a tool for our business, but how our business is being run for us. I think we're in an exciting stage right now with generative AI, but when you get into that agentic, where the AI is not just providing you an output based on what you prompt or guidelines or things like that, it's actually doing it for you. That's where concern isn't the right word, because we're going to do it. We've tackled and succeeded for almost 100 years. We're going to do it, but that's where it is not. It's going to look nothing like consumer banking looks today.
And any advice on your employees or in general people in the industry? How do we prepare for that? Like, what do we do whenever that future were to arrive? Is there anything we can do?
Yeah, well, there I go back to stop worrying about it. It's coming. So lean into it, and don't think just because banks have bigger budgets or your neobank, your non-bank banks they're less regulated, so they're more agile. Stop using it as an excuse. Lean in and learn. We talk a lot about, even in the when we discuss in the kind of the stablecoin crypto space. I don't know where the use case is yet.
Yeah.
But I want to be at the table talking about it. The worst thing we can do, I'll do the opposite and tell you what we can't do, and that's stick our heads in the sand and pretend it's not coming. We sit at the table. Nobody's smarter than we are. We're just as equipped. Our ability as an industry to collaborate puts us on a more level playing field against the advantages that your non-banks and your large money center banks have. We do what we do best, and we collaborate like we're doing at this conference, and we sit at the table and we're a voice. Because it's coming. Stop worrying that somebody has the answers we don't. I think it's coming. It's exciting. It's scary, but nobody knows yet. And if we just do what we do best and don't shy away from it, we'll be just fine.
Amazing. That's very inspirational. And this is the whole reason I started this podcast. Is the only way we navigate is through conversations, learning from each other. And I love what you said. Get on the table. Listen, just don't shy away. It's coming.
Yeah, and you know what? Good. It's fun. And when you talk about your historical banking, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. It's boring. Like this is not a boring industry anymore. I joke. People say this isn't your mother and father's financial services. This isn't even your older brother and sister's financial services, and that's really exciting. And when you talk about the next generation of talent, that's great, because excitement attracts good talent. So when you and I are long retired, it's good to know that the industry is exciting, and it's going to keep bringing in talented people who look at the quote unquote challenges of AI and look at them as opportunities. And that's what's going to be great for us.
Awesome. Okay, that's all I had. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much.
I look forward to
this is cool. I get to
again.
keep this mug, I was told. So that's
yes.
great. All right, thank you so much.
This is amazing.
Yeah.